no way to do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another episode of KeMedicine 32. I am joined by the players of polarity, the soldiers of science, the killers of keto, the duo of dynamism, Dr. EnQi, naturopath, and Dr. Tanei Riggs, PhD. We have a very special presentation for you tonight. We are going to take a look at the epic debate between Dr. EnQi and Jabari Osaze.
Oh my God.
Listen, this is what we could do. We could end early, like 10. And then the people who can stay up, they could just jump over to my page. And then we'll do it at 10.
Okay, so can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Aren't you always saying how like you need more outlets for your stuff?
Tonight.
I'll just ask, but that's a yes or no
Tonight.
question? That's a yes or no question.
Are we gonna do the whole joint? Because I don't want to do a partial joint or like put it on a 2-speed where people sound like the chipmunks. Like I don't want to do any of that.
No, we're not gonna do it on double speed. But like, what's wrong with doing half of it now and doing the other half on your page? Like, if people want to come back and look at it, they can just come back and look at the kick stream.
Look at HJ face.
You pissing me off.
This is absolute madness. Like, let's do half of it tonight.
I don't even get pissed off. Like, nobody's able to piss me off. You're pissing me off. I'm literally pissed right now. Like, I want to hit, like, stop record and go lay down. Like, that's what I want to do right now. I want to say, fuck this episode. That's where I'm at right now, because you mad frustrating.
I appreciate that. I do appreciate that.
Hey, Stage, just pull the debate up. Because as soon as you pull the debate up, he's going to start talking anyway. He can't resist.
He got to pull the debate up. He got to pull the debate up.
All right. Well, we can discuss a little points of it. I mean, come on. Tonight, why you be trolling, bro?
Why is it me that's trolling? You know what? I'm not gonna react because I have noticed that all you do is try to rage bait me. I'm not falling for it tonight. I'm not.
And not being literal.
I do want to mention that.
Why does he want us to mingle with the HOK niggas? I don't know. I'm trying to stay as far away from them as possible.
All right. Bring it up.
Chat stupid. Steer clear.
Yeah, I think I'm retiring after this. Like I told y'all, I think that's my retirement.
Retiring from what?
Peace and
my retirement
from the corner. From the philanthropic work.
Damn, what just happened?
You're retiring.
Damn, hold on. Okay, let me try that one more time. From my HOK lecture debates.
So you hanging your HOK jersey up in the rafters?
Yeah, my man.
The 14 is Greek. That's Plutarch, right? That's Plutarch. That's not African. So who was going to kill him on that? On the 42 laws? Jabari don't teach the 42 laws. There's
Jabari.
We're just waiting, chat. We're just waiting for him to pull it up on his screen. Just give us a moment.
That's
okay, here we go.
You can't get the brothers for that. and then we just move on. So, are there any questions? Anybody?
Yeah, how is the
All right, can you pause the
how
video
is the
right quick?
Q&A? Like, is that like a 5 minutes or 10 questions?
Yeah, give us some context of what's going on here, please, if you don't mind.
It's a debate between Jabari and I on, is Christ a literal and historical character, and is Christ the Word? That is the title of the debate.
Okay. So are y'all debating, like the stuff that you talked about before with like the QRST wave, or is this more like a literal representation of like Bible stories and stuff like that?
Um, the debate is supposed to be centered on Christ being a literal historical character, and then is Christ the Word of creation?
Okay. So word of creation, not word of God, son of God, stuff like that. Okay.
Well, Word of God, Word of creation. The Word of God is what the tool of creation was, so that's kind of like the same thing.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And then Jabari kind of filibustered and came with a presentation about Jesus, and things got a little crazy because he didn't have anything on the actual debate topic. And
So we
then
can skip everything he talking about then, right? He ain't talking about nothing. Debate. We can just skip that, right? Because we here for Dr. EnQi. We not here for
I'm not. There's no way he said anything of
support EnQi.
like. What could he have possibly said of substance? No, I don't. Like,
I mean that is I just don't know if that's an exciting game if you watch it like a basketball game. I mean, yeah, and it's just the one team, they run down, score, and then there's like no other team, so they don't,
I don't know. That's kind of exciting if the team's if it's a team you really been wanting to beat for a while, and you just like just beat their ass. You just show your highlights. Like that feels kind of
I think let's let's
it's
watch
like
that.
Shador. We just want to watch Shador's highlights.
That's real satisfying. That's extremely satisfying.
Let's do that. I think we're gonna try that. I've never, yeah, we're gonna do that. Depends on like what does the Q&A consist of?
Because I'll be honest,
The
we don't give a
Q&A
fuck about his argument. Like we
At
do
all.
not care.
I don't even want to hear his voice.
Okay.
His voice is mad annoying.
Well, there we go. We will do the Dr. EnQi highlight reel. That's what we will call this. This is the
Now, who's the chick now? Who's the chick? She got some casabas on her, boy.
that's Sanetta's wife.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, I knew you was gonna violate. That's why I ain't say nothing. I knew you was gonna violate.
My bad. Continue.
I technically don't think it's a violation. You know what I'm saying? Until you know that's somebody's wife, then it becomes, different.
Now I want y'all to take note of what HJ just did over the past minute and acting like it was completely normal.
I need another one.
I know y'all saw that.
When you start talking, your time starts.
I didn't see it. Okay.
It's probably
Who
best that you
is
did.
the
You might rage
utterance?
quit again.
So we're going to start with who is the utterance, who never. We're doing this for the Church of Winnenefer Christ. The main source of confusion with Christianity and its parent, Kemetic science, is the lack of scientific understanding of the text, biblical and Kemetic. You cannot understand the biblical or the Bible or Kemetic text without understanding the forces that create and sustain life.
You talked about that before, right?
Why do
About,
Kemetic
the
scholars teach
translations and stuff
that?
like that? Sorry, I just messing with me. I'm sitting here thinking you talking in real time. Yeah, so you talked about that before, right? Where you talking about changing out certain words in the Bible based on the translations, and then like when you put the other words in, it gives you completely different meaning of what the passage is actually trying to say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's definitely one of the yeah, that's one of my main, I think because but not necessarily in this context. Typically when I have that conversation, it's about health. It's about respiration and heart health and cardio and your kidney health and in that pocket. This is more of a quantum mechanics conversation.
Mm.
Yeah, so there's some quantum mechanics in the Bible and the Kemetic text that we uncovering. So of course, the large majority of the unread audience had no idea what I was talking about as I was explaining it.
Because they slow.
I don't even know if slow qualifies because
Damn.
you gotta be in the class in order to be slow.
But they don't want to know.
Right. That's what I'm saying. They're not even in the class. They will be
They
considered
willfully ignorant.
the remedial, maybe not even remedial. Yeah, willfully ignorant might be a better term. I just don't know where we're going in the future with these folks.
I mean, they're gonna be on UBI. Like, we're not worried about that.
Okay. And we're going back to the video. The Neteru were universal forces without identifying those forces, leaving their students and themselves open to chakra foolishness and other foreign concepts. Jabari specifically is teaching that the Neteru were universal forces, but not actual, meaning that they don't exist. Then, at other times, he claims the opposite. We must also acknowledge the fact that Jabari is quoting and teaching Madame Blavatsky when he says that the Neteru are not literal and actual. That concept is a direct lesson pulled from Madame Blavatsky, not Kemetic texts. Chakras aren't even that important. We intend to prove that Nefer is the original Christ. Nefer existed, as do all the Neter. The glyphs for Re are a standing wave and a resonant wave cavity, vortex, as well as the standing wave being the word. Before you get confused, I will be using the Bible to specifically satisfy the debate victory requirements. Is Christ a literal and historical character, and is Christ the Word? One of which we proved already. First, I need you to learn what the Word is. The Word is a standing wave. In history, in the glyphs, in our thoughts when we speak, when matter is formed, etc. A standing wave. Our ancestors knew this science, and it was life. It was life for them and became religion later for others.
Don't want to see a dead body. Don't want to see a dead body.
He thinks that he's going to prove that there is a literal named named Christ that's not Jesus. We read the Kemetic text. When I tell you that Asar and Heru are the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, I'm telling you that the Kemetic text says so. And I believe literally, I feel an energy that is Heru. Not a physical person, but an energy. And I believe literally, I feel an energy that is Heru. Not a physical person, but an energy. And that energy has assisted me. I would call that Heru.
Okay, so right here in the intro, we have Jabari identifying Heru and Osiris as the original Christ, and also saying that Heru is literal because he feels him literally in actual real life. So in the intro, I think we might have already finished the debate. I think we might have already finished the debate in the intro. But we'll recap because we have some more time.
Y'all wanna see a dead body?
He thinks that he's going to prove that there was a literal named Jesus. I mean, named Christ that's not Jesus. We read the Kemetic text. When I tell you that Asar and Heru are the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, I'm telling you that the Kemetic text says so.
See, that's the best source. Jabari's the source for quite a bit of my argument. Jabari can't argue against Jabari.
And I believe literally, I feel an energy that is Heru. Not a physical person.
My yesterday or tomorrow, I place the trail and you follow from the home of the Apollo.
Thank you so much, EnQi, for that opening. Now we will move on.
Why I really thought she was telling me time.
I thought I heard time too.
No, she said that, but that's in the debate. I thought
Okay.
she was like here saying that like in real time.
Okay. All right, so kind of recap that for us, like where this stands at this point.
Okay, so that was the intro. You get a 5-minute intro. And so the concept, remember the debate is 2 questions. Is Christ a literal and historical character, and is Christ the Word? So, outside of laying out what I wanted to do in the debate in the intro, I also laid out the fact that Jabari kind of lost before the debate even got started because I have video clips of him saying that number one, the original Christ goes back into Kemet, Horus, and Osiris. And then number 2, we have him on video saying that Horus is literal. So if the conversation is Christ a literal historical character? Well, Jabari has just said Christ is a literal historical character, Horus.
Can I give a little pushback?
Sure.
He never used the word Christ.
No, he didn't.
He did say Horus, though.
And he also said the King of Kings and Lord of Lords.
That he did say.
Right.
So that's what we're gonna construe.
Which the Bible
describes Jesus Christ
as the one and only Jesus Christ in 1 Timothy.
Okay, that makes sense. All right.
Yeah. And later we'll bring up 1 Timothy's and blah 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 blah.
So there's actual Bible scriptures pulled into this too. Wow. Okay. All right.
You know, I'm using the bell, chairs from the front row, eye gouging.
Theophile Obanga says atomic theory comes from Kemet. Shout out to the granddaddy teacher Obanga.
Yeah, I wanted to bring a variety of sources because I knew that it was going to be an uphill battle, not necessarily on my page, but in the House of Consciousness, because I know that they never heard of anything close to this.
Right.
Standing wave, they didn't know they don't know any of that.
Yeah.
You know, so what I open with, so what you see on the screen right here, I'm getting ready to go into. These are the basic hieroglyphs of the Medu Neter. These are the most these are the central hieroglyphs of the Medu Neter because Ray.
Slow down right quick. Tell the audience what the Medu Neter is, because some people may not know.
Okay, so Medu Neter is, well, around the world, it is basically like saying Spanish, Italian, French. It's just a name for the Kemetic language. But the name actually translates to the word of God or the word of the gods. So yeah, it is the original language from which most languages derive. Phoenician, the Hebrew, etc. Chinese, even like the Chinese writing system. And these are the two basic hieroglyphs
Wait, when
right
they
here.
say the word of the gods, are they being egoistic and calling themselves God, or or the people that made the language saying this language came from God?
Okay. All right. Interesting. Okay, so that's a good question.
You threw hot sauce on here? My bad. My bad.
No, we good. We go right from the listen. This is KeMedicine. This is what we do here. We go right from defining the word of God to extra hot sauce. That's what else? Like what else could hot sauce in the purse? Like what we doing? You know what I'm saying?
It's Taco
So-
Bell needs some hot sauce.
So the concept in Kemet is that the universe was made out of the gods.
Okay.
So,
Gods being principles, forces. Okay.
well, that's a contentious statement as well because
Right.
principles and forces are not the same.
Right.
Yeah, principles are ideas. Forces are actual, you know what I'm saying, like small force, like
But a principle
Yeah.
could represent a force, and a force could represent a principle. And a symbol could contain both.
kinda, almost. A principle could explain a force,
Right.
but not necessarily be the force.
No, not be the force, yeah. But
Yeah.
complement it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can use principles to explain the forces. So these right here, Re is the fundamental god in the Kemetic pantheon of Neters.
Not to be confused with Ra?
Ra, Ra and Re is the same.
Okay, got you. All right.
Yeah.
Continue.
So with the Medu Neter, it is a language of consonants. There's no actual vowels,
Mm-hmm.
but in translating, they started to add vowels to approximate pronunciations.
Got you.
So sometimes you'll see it spelled R-E, sometimes you'll see it R-A.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's not really how it's written.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's just to approximate the pronunciation. So Ra and Re are the same guy, same individual. And so you have two hieroglyphs for Re, and the one here on the left is exactly what a standing wave looks like, right? And the one here on the right represents a bound system, or what we would define today as a resonant wave cavity. So what I'm explaining to people who have been studying the hieroglyphs from a purely phonetic standpoint is the science of what a word is. Seeing as a question of the debate is Christ the word? So we can have clarity, we need to define word. So that's kind of where we go with the first round. Buttle comes at the end.
Perfect. Yes. Thank you so much. And so when you start speaking, your time will begin, but I will let you know that I will come in a minute before and say you have 1 minute left, just to give you that time.
Come in at 5 minutes before, since we're doing 30-minute rounds.
Yes, sir. Por supuesto. Of course. All right. When you're
Tú hablas español.
Sí. Sí.
Okay.
Listo para tisto.
Uh-oh.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, when you start speaking, your time begins. I will come in at 25 minutes and let you know you have 5 minutes left. Go ahead.
All right. So right out the
EnQi.
gate, we can see that Jabari is.
What did? Oh, I guess you're about to tell us. I wanted to know if you could just tell us. Did he have any rebuttals in his first round? What happened?
He didn't do his first round yet.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, he did his. So I did my intro, then he did his intro.
Okay.
Yeah, and then
so there was no rebuttals in his intro.
Yeah, no, there's no rebuttals. Because technically, he wasn't expecting me to,
say good deal.
Right. In the intro, you just typically lay out what you're getting ready to do.
Got you.
Is lying and looking to manipulate the audience. Napar has read the title of the debate, and the word biblical is not in the title of the debate, nor is the name Jesus in the title of the debate. So Jabari is already looking to mislead you, which means Jabari has already lost this debate. But I'm going to get to the science, and we'll come back. So I want y'all to first pay attention to what you see on the screen. You see two different hieroglyphs here, both of them for Ray. What I want to establish in the first round is the science associated with Ray and how advanced our ancestors in Kemet actually were, so we can identify these forces and demonstrate that these forces still exist today.
My yesterday or tomorrow, I place the trail and you follow from the home of the Apollo. I spit and you swallow. I'm here.
Electron, we see that they don't behave like particles but act more like waves. And it was this wave model that allowed us to really understand what was going on at this classical level of a Bohr atom. And so we realized that electrons could be here or here or here, but they didn't exist in the middle, and that was puzzling to scientists. Also, why is it when an electron falls down, it emits a photon of light, this certain amount of energy?
Know the metal nature, but you flunk biology. Talking hieroglyph.
Well, the wave model unlocked that.
Know the metal nature, but you flunk biology. Talking hieroglyph.
Well, the wave model unlocked that.
Know the metal nature, but you flunk biology. Talking hieroglyph.
Well, the wave model unlocked that.
Know the metal nature, but you flunk biology. Talking hieroglyph.
Well, the wave model unlocked that.
Know the metal nature, but you flunk biology. Talking hieroglyph.
Well, the wave model unlocked.
Taking good notes.
Know the metal nature, but you flunk biology. Talking hieroglyph.
Well, the wave model unlocked that.
Know the metal nature, but you flunk biology. Talking hieroglyph.
Well, the wave model unlocked that.
Know the metal nature, but you flunk biology. Talking hieroglyph.
Because we've really got a good understanding of how waves work. So if we have waves moving back and forth, they create something called a standing wave.
Know the metal nature, but you flunk biology. Talking hieroglyph.
So if we have waves moving back and forth, they create something called a standing wave.
Know the metal nature, but you flunk biology. Talking hieroglyph.
So if we have waves moving back and forth, they create something called a standing wave. Of an electron, we see that they don't behave like particles but act more like waves. And it was this wave model that allowed us to really understand what was going on at this classical level of a Bohr atom. And so we realized that electrons could be here or here or here, but they didn't exist in the middle, and that was puzzling to scientists. Also, why is it when an electron falls down, it emits a photon of light, a certain amount of energy? Well, the wave model unlocked that, because we've really got a good understanding of how waves work. So if we have waves moving back and forth, they create something called a standing wave. And so what scientists started to hypothesize is maybe the electrons, as they're moving around, are interfering with themselves. They're going so fast that they're interfering with the electrons as they come around again. And so maybe they're wrapping around and creating standing waves. And so areas out here, we could get a standing wave.
You see what a standing wave looks like?
Where the electron moving around the outside of the atom is interfering with the electron itself. And so what you get are these standing waves.
Know the metal nature, but you flunk biology. Talking hieroglyph.
Standing waves that build up, and that's where that energy allows the electron to be there. But in
words are standing waves, vocal tract resonance. The human vocal tract acts as a natural resonance cavity that filters the buzzy sounds produced by the vibrating vocal cords into specific shapes made by the tongue and lips, soft palate, creating standing waves. Acoustic environments, in an enclosed space like a room, sound waves, speech reflects off the walls. The room dimensions match the wavelength of certain frequencies of sound. Standing waves can be set up. Musical instruments. Musical instruments rely on creating standing waves within air columns or on a string to produce sustained notes. Okay? So I'm explaining to you the science of what a word is. I'm demonstrating it to you from a collegiate level, a scholarly level, and showing you our ancestors knew that and captured that in the glyphs of Re, right? And then also here in Nefer. Nefer is very important because you'll see that this is a part of the name for Osiris. But Nefer encapsulates the source of standing waves, which is where the all of creation is supposed to emanate from. This is why we have Ptah and Memphis, the heart and the tongue, because between the heart and the tongue is where standing waves are created. Also, the brain. The brain completely relies on traveling waves and standing waves. So not only do we have the words being formulated as standing waves, but we also have thought integration throughout the neural networks as standing waves. Brain function. Integration and coherence. Standing waves are important for binding different areas of information together and overall coordinated, coherent activity in normal brain function. Resonant phenomena. Studies suggest that the brain works like a resonance chamber, right? So I want you to understand, once again, what a standing wave is and what the word is and why Re, the hieroglyph for Re, is a standing wave and a resonant standing wave cavity. The sun functions via standing waves. This is another reason that Re is associated with the sun, because the sun is a large resonant cavity for standing waves. The sun functions as a vast resonant chamber of standing waves, specifically acoustic pressure waves, the foundation of the scientific field of helioseismology. Okay, so everybody at home, you should be taking notes. You should be proud that I'm showing you the science of modern day was captured by your ancestors 5,000 years ago and preserved for you up to today. So hopefully y'all get it. Our ancestors were telling you.
So can you give some context to helioseismology and like why it's important?
You mean in the context of the debate?
Or just in general, some people may not know what helioseismology is.
Well, basically, helioseismology is basically the study of the sun as traveling and standing waves. So, what I'm showing is that they understood. So, we'll go slightly outside the debate, right? So, one of the things that we have that I'm breaking down is the barrier that ancient religious concepts or theology is nonsensical and non-scientific. So I actually just wrote a little paper inside inside my book called The Source Material on the Kemetic Wave Function. And I'm basically explaining how the theology of Kemet is today's parent of quantum mechanics. So we look at quantum mechanics as popping up in the 19th century. And I systematically go through the quantum mechanics, including Schrodinger's equations, and show that all of those things come from Kemet. Now, if you go back and forth with somebody who's kind of like well versed on the subject, the biggest problem or hurdle to get over is that Kemet did not have any equations, right? Quantum mechanics relies on pretty fairly complicated equations, primarily in the calculus and the algebra, in calculus and algebra equations. But the answer to that is the geometry. All of the roots for the calculus and the algebra come from the Kemetic geometry. And so we have the living geometry, and then we also have the papyri that have that double down on the origins of calculus and algebra. So in terms of the debate specifically, um, the Bible and Kemet both teach that the world was created from the word, right? The Bible says the word, and the Kemetic text doesn't say word, they say utterance. The divine utterance is how everything was created. So you have Re or Ra as a creator, and then in the Memphis system, you have Ptah. And so all of the major religions agree that the word is what created the world. And for people, I guess the last 2,000 years before Dr. EnQi discovered it, you
Where's
know,
Unc at?
just just give myself a pat on the back here for making a groundbreaking discovery that I
We
should
need
be
Unc
nominated.
soundboard right quick.
Listen,
Stop glazing.
I'm not sure if glazing can apply to yourself. I feel like I should be nominated for a Nobel Prize.
What was the discovery?
That quantum mechanics is the Kemetic theology is the parent to quantum mechanics.
Question.
Go ahead.
In the beginning was the word, right?
Yeah.
So the word creates things. Does that mean that?
Kind of, sort of. That's not exactly what it says in the Bible.
Okay. It says the
It says in the
utterance.
beginning
So
was the word.
Right.
In the beginning was the word, and the word was with God. Because the word was God.
Mm-hmm.
So on and so forth.
Okay. So the utterance is saying what?
Do you mean that's the Kemetic text?
Yeah, what does it say?
Very similar. It says the world was created from the divine utterance.
Okay, so the world is created from the word or utterance, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So does that mean
that's the theological version? Go ahead.
So does that mean that our creation is a standing wave? Are we walking standing waves? I noticed you mentioned that in relation to the sun. You mentioned that in relation to our brain. You said it's a resonance chamber.
So, so the Kemetic text and the biblical text tell us that the world is created from the word.
Right.
Right. Now we fast forward. We leave them and we fast forward to quantum mechanics.
Okay.
Right. Or before we get to quantum mechanics, right, we make a short stop at the inception of the periodic table.
Okay.
And we get the periodic table, and we are told that everything in the world, in the known universe, is made by the elements on the periodic table.
Right.
Okay. Now we fast forward to the evolution of that concept, because when we get the periodic table is presented, atoms are presented as the smallest possible units of matter.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing is smaller than an atom, which was built into the original framework. Fast forward, we start to get a peek past atoms into the subatomic space, and that culminates in quantum mechanics.
Yep.
And so once we get quantum mechanics, we now know what the atoms are made out of.
Oh, so that goes
right?
back to what the dude was saying, where he's saying electrons bouncing levels is creating standing waves.
Boom.
Ah,
So
okay.
quantum mechanics now tells us that
Electron transfer.
atoms are made out of standing waves.
Atoms are made out of atoms are made out of standing waves. And we're made out of atoms, so we're made out of standing waves.
Well, everything is made out of
Right.
atom.
Right.
So everything is technically made out of standing waves. Where it becomes remarkable is when we have to realize that words are made out of standing waves. And so our ancestors were not just correct, but they were like absolutely right on the money to tell us that the entire known universe, the world, was created from the word because the word is a standing wave.
Mm. So
The thing,
basically, the universe was created by a bad bitch that couldn't shut her mouth. That's what I'm getting from this.
yeah, not exactly. No, that's
Because God is a
but
woman. God is a woman with large kasabas. All right, let's go back to
God,
the tape. Let's go back to
yeah,
the tape
God,
for
God
we.
is not a woman with large casabas.
Please don't ruin my afterlife for me. When I get to heaven, there'll be kasabas waiting for me. Thank you very much.
Okay, so as we're teaching the Bible and Kemet, HJ has converted to Islam. That's that's what just happened on the live stream. So just these KeMedicine episodes get more interesting every week. It's just expect the unexpected when you come to KeMedicine on Tuesday night. Somehow, teaching the Bible and Kemet led to HJ becoming a Muslim.
The word
That
was
is
with
very
God.
and the breasts were with AJ.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum, Glenn.
Yeah. Wait, you just threw glam in there?
She said assalamu alaikum. Alaikum salam.
Did we convert glam as well? About the nature of the universe. The nature of the universe is waves, electromagnetic waves and mechanical waves via traveling waves and standing waves. Standing waves being the focus of matter and life. Kemetic scholars. Okay, so let me just add this part in. So God in the Bible is identified as light. God is identified as light. The Kemetic text, hold on. The Kemetic text also identifies God with light. So Ra is personified as the sun, which is our main light source. So it's not necessarily the sun, but the source of the sun's radiance and energy. And then we also have Aten, which later on comes with Akhenaten and monotheism. But so God is identified with light. Light is not necessarily standing waves. Light is composed of traveling waves. So this is the thing about in the beginning being the word and the word being with God. Because
Oh.
traveling waves come together and create standing waves. So a standing wave is made out of traveling waves.
Mm-hmm.
So it's absolutely scientifically correct to say in the beginning was the word and the word was God and the word was with God, because technically the
Yeah.
word as a standing wave is composed of traveling waves.
Yeah.
Don't understand this part of Kemet, like Jabari. They would tell you all day that the Netchers stood for natural forces, but they will never explain to you exactly which natural forces they are talking about. The word is the fundamental standing wave. This right here is the glyph for a mouth, which formulates words via standing waves. It is also, when you put the determinative under it, a glyph for ray, the standing wave. When and nefer, the original word that became flesh. actual.
Are not literal. That is what I'm saying. They're not literal and actual.
Now, here's a problem. Here's another problem with Jabari saying that the Neteru are not actual. The name Winner Nefer means to exist. So if we're looking at the Kemetic text, the Kemetic text speaks specifically about existence. So when you start to say that the Neteru don't exist, you are not teaching the Kemetic text. That comes from another source altogether. And we will get there.
Are not literal. That is what I'm saying. They're not literal and actual.
Can Jabari read the Medu Neter? I don't even care if he can. It doesn't matter. What matters is, do the people reading the Medu Neter understand what they're actually looking at? Can a Kemetic priest say he is teaching the Kemetic text and say that Osiris does not exist when the name Winner Nefer means to exist?
Y'all want to see a dead body?
See, Jabari had y'all led to believe that I was going to come here with no sources. But when we go to the TLA, which is a primary source amongst Kemetic scholars, it says clearly, Winner Nefer, to exist. This is very important as we continue to move through this conversation. I promise you, you should take notes at home. We just wanted to blow it up on the big screen so you can see it. When he says that the Neteru do not exist, that does not come from the primary text.
Wait, who's that in the corner?
Let's go to Hatshepsut at Karnak. What does this
that
say?
look like Uncle Fester.
It says that all of this really happened. And you can see in the glyph what is used. You can see in the glyphs what is used in the translation.
EnQi.
All this really happened. This is
what's that TLA website?
The TLA website is the primary.
No, what's the website? What's the .com? What's the URL?
Oh, ugh. Let me see.
Can't find it.
Thesaurus.
Yeah, I saw it. It's like so Thesaurus Linguae Egypte.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
I found it. All right. Thank you. That's all. You go back.
It's very important as we move through this, because I want y'all to understand this is not just a historical conversation, but a scientific one. Theophile Obenga says atomic theory comes from Kemet.
So that's interesting.
Let's go to the text.
So when you think about like all the stuff that's been captured from the Kemetic civilization, from like the glyphs to like the papyri, the structures, there's like no way that you can't talk about science. And there's no way that like you can't conceptualize that these people had a massive framework of scientific text, of scientific understanding, and no reference to it. Like that just doesn't make any sense. So like anybody that's talking about talking about Kemet as an ancient civilization and is not talking about the scientific aspect, they're leaving a lot out, which is the point that you're making. But I'm bringing it back to like a practical level where it's like you have to think about it. Like when we do stuff in lab, we document everything, right? We document everything in notebooks and we document it in a way that's reproducible for other people, right?
Fact.
So it is insane to think that people that built all this stuff, the people that had all this knowledge, had no way to reference it. Like if you can't reference it, that just means you don't know what it's talking about. You don't understand what it's saying, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But then you can't say that you're well versed in everything because you're missing that part. Like you just don't have the understanding of that.
Which has been my argument for a long time, that our Kemetic scholars have been basically scientifically illiterate which renders most of the community dumb, deaf, and blind because the people that, so our Kemetic scholars pretty much are just people that have been studying how to translate the Medu Neter language phonetically. They're not people who have studied Kemet for the scientific, their scientific prowess, their medical innovations, their surgical innovations, their plant apothecaries, and how they were able to cultivate, hybrid plants for medical purposes, like the watermelon. Like they literally invented the watermelon for high blood pressure and diabetes. Like it's crazy. Um, so when they're just trying to convert hieroglyphs into a or a B, like they're leaving out everything else. So what I spent my first round in when I was debating Unk was showing that they actually had microscopes and telescopes because they created the convex lenses. And it was a similar effect. The audience was like, what are you doing right now? What is this? This doesn't make any sense. You're off topic. A convex lens, literally, Unc, and this was probably one of the funniest parts of the debate. I was in tears laughing at this. But Unc is literally, I got Unc on video saying, what does a convex lens have to do with biology? Yeah. What does a convex lens have to do with biology? I was like, that is probably the dumbest thing that anyone could have ever said in a scientific debate. Like, there would be no such thing as biology without the convex lens. Like, we could literally name biology convex lensology. Like, there is no biology without the convex lens. So, but similar to this debate, I spent on establishing what a word is in a scientific way, and the whole concept, because we've traced the Bible to Kemet for 50 years now. So we kind of have that down packed, but we don't really know what we're tracing to where. We don't know that we're tracing a one scientific text back to another scientific text, because most of the people that are into religious studies and religious debates and conversations are not people who are into science and biology. And the people who are into science and biology are not into religious discussions. So there would never be a discovery of a scientific principle in theology unless we have people that are into science studying the theology. So even if people are looking at the symbol of Re, which you see right here, is also the symbol of a mouth. Like, this is literally where the origin um, comes from in the Bible, to say that the word of God is creating the world. That this literally is Re is that word in that mouth, because that symbol literally means mouth. Literally means mouth in the Medu Neter, and it is also the fundamental harmonic of a standing wave at the same time. So that is a profound, I should be ranked right on up there, with the Nobel laureates. I should be. They're gonna wait till I'm dead though to go back, and say, oh yeah, he was all right with that, yeah, we gonna posthumous. I don't want the posthumous. I want the. Anyway, who then is he?
And we'll honor you at the Grifties.
Otherwise,
are you changing your screen because it's still on?
Ra, what'd you say?
We'll honor you at the Grifties.
I will probably cry at the Grifties if I get a Grifty. I will probably cry at the Grifty. The Nobel Grifty. And I'd be very proud of my Nobel Grifty.
What's up, Laura?
Uniting with Osiris. Oh, y'all can't even see my finger point. My finger's pointing on the screen. Ra unites with Osiris. This is important because I know y'all are saying, well, why are we looking at hieroglyphs for Ra? because we're establishing something that you'll see come to fruition in the later rounds, in the later discourse. For now, just know Osiris, when a Nefer, means to exist. Also know that we're talking about science. I didn't give you a generic term and say natural forces. I'm pinpointing based on the actual text, the hieroglyphs of Re, a standing wave and a resonant wave cavity. Now, if you only study the Medu Neter language and you don't actually study science, you could look at a standing wave for 20 or 30 years, like some of you people at home have already done, and never recognize that it is the standard hieroglyph for Re. You could look at it and never know that the sun is a resonant wave cavity for standing waves. So again, we have Osiris, right? The original gleam in his father's eye, right? Now we go here, we have the interaction between standing waves and vortices, right? Which again speaks to the relationship of the two glyphs used for Re. I want y'all to follow along with this now. I know this sciencey part gets a little complicated. It gets a little complicated, but I want y'all to be able to follow along with this. Energy creates matter using two standard geometries, a standing wave and a vortex. A vortex dissipates energy. A standing wave allows it to collect. This is very important as we understand that all matter comes from a standing wave. So when our ancestors were saying that the world was created by the word, they were telling you that the world around you is created by the standing wave. And modern science agrees. Modern science tells you that the periodic table is made out of standing waves. Your ancestors told you that the world was created from standing waves. The Bible then tells you the world was created from the word. The word is a standing wave. If we apply the science, our ancestors were leaving us a treasure trove of truth, intellectual property that we could stand on today and build with. But the problem is when non-scientific people look at science, they don't know what they're looking at. That's why we have people in the House of Consciousness today telling you that Africans did not have science. There's no such thing as African science. They don't know what they're looking at. They don't know what they're looking at. Energy transfer. Energy transfers between standing waves and vortexes. Standing waves build, a vortex distribute. What do we have as a vortex that you can see? A tornado, a whirlwind, the drain in your tub going down, the clouds when the weather's forming. Everywhere these patterns exist. Spirals, golden mean ratio.
Oh, scarlet flame, blade.
That was very interesting. Kemetic text. Is Christ the word? So I want y'all to pay attention. Jabari has blanked off his screen so that he can take notes because he realizes that things have just shifted.
He ducked off the screen?
The only thing that can exist in a pure... He ducked off the screen, which is illegal according to Sineta's rules in the debate, but no points were deducted. But yeah, you're not supposed to duck off the screen because that's supposed to be like disrespectful to the other opponent. But Jabari didn't want people to see him taking notes. For vacuum and create is light, traveling waves. I want y'all to understand this. When we talk about first causes of matter, first causes of life, first causes of anything, the only thing that can exist in a vacuum, in nothingness, is light. The Bible tells us God is light, and it tells us Jesus is the light of the world. We also have the Kemetic text establishing that Heru is light. We also have that the Kemetic text I just showed you of Osiris combining with Ra, Re, who is also a light body, a light being, or the sun that gives light to the world. So I just want to keep this running theme coming together because this new information, it might be hard for y'all to wrestle with coming in all at once, but it's okay. We're going to continue to drip sources on you. We're going to continue to drip information on you so that you get this because I want y'all to learn today. Traveling waves, God is light. Traveling waves create matter, and standing waves are the words from the mouth of God. God is light in both the biblical text and the Kemetic text. So is Christ. Now, y'all remember this from the last debate. This is what I was explaining to y'all in the last debate. This is what I was explaining to y'all in the last debate with quantum field theory. The emergence from the quantum soup. Your ancestors were explaining that. They already had the parts and their interactions. That's called the scientific mechanism. We originated a scientific mechanism. We originated that and communicated that through the stories of the Neteru. Very important for you to understand this concept. The Kemenu describe the mechanisms, parts, and interactions of the parts of the quantum world. Waves of potential. Very important that we. So basically, quantum field theory explains that, you know, the universe kind of began with waves of pure potential, and an excitation amongst the waves gained momentum and emerged from that quantum soup. And that first emergence, you know, began the process to creating the first subatomic particles and atoms and, eventually our whole universe. In Kemet, we have the Kemenu represented by Nun, and then we have Kepra emerging from the Kemenu, and then Kepra becomes Atum and Re, the first trinity, Kepra, Atum, and Re, or Kepra, Atum, Re, and creation coming forward from there. So it is a one for one, like literally the only difference between what we have in modern quantum mechanics and our ancient theology is the math equations. But again, the math equations are derived from geometry, which we have in the theology.
Yeah, I don't think people realize how important shapes are. Like shapes, shape symbols, they have so many different layered meanings beyond what we see like on the page. Like if you go outside and you come to a four-way and you see a sign that is a red octagon, even if you do not see the word stop, you're going to pause for a second.
That's a fact.
Because you associate that shape, that color with stop. And there's so many things that we subconsciously associate with certain symbols, and when we see them, things happen and we don't know why.
That was the biggest Illuminati move, was for the Rothschilds to fund a multi-million dollar exploration into ancient Kemet. And they basically funded they basically invented and funded the science of biosemiotics, which is pulling science out of symbol. And so, you know, there are a lot of people that are quietly in small places, you know, working around the clock on getting to be quite rich from having the very similar conversations than we have. Just the perspective is quite different. We're trying to debate whether Jesus or Muhammad walked on water, or, you know, was visited by an angel in the cave, as to pulling the underlying science that we can use to patent and change the future, make new medicine, make new medical machines, make new, you know, advances in technology and things of that nature. So
So I went to this TLA website.
yeah.
And I was trying to think of something to search. So I typed in the word love. It's the first thing that came to mind. And it told me that the word is Mary. Or Murray. Or marry. And then the symbol is, it's like an A, like a slanted like A.
Beloved.
Yeah. A standing wave, the I thing.
Yeah.
And a nigga on one knee.
Yeah. There's a lot. There's a lot of there's a lot.
I'm turning this website off. This shit going. This shit fucking with my head.
It's a lot because there's a lot of our society that has been taken from Kemet and then is hidden unless you go and start exploring. And you start poking around and you be like, wait a minute, what is this? Wait, what is that? Where did this come from? And this and that. And you start, you start putting, you start seeing stuff.
We was literally just saying that. Like, we be doing stuff and it feels like familiar, but you don't know why.
Yeah.
And it's because the symbols on a level are still, you still have a subconscious knowing of what these symbols mean and what these gestures mean. But when you see them now, you've forgotten. And it's like, well, this doesn't feel right to not do. So there must be some knowing of it.
And sometimes we overshoot it, right? Sometimes we overshoot it. We know America, as is, was founded on capitalist principles, capitalist exploration, capitalist principles. And so we have our dollar with the pyramid and the eye on it, and we overshot it. We got really deep with our explanations of what that eye and the pyramid on the back of the dollar represent, as opposed to just saying, Kemetic science, right? As opposed to just saying, like, listen, this is a continuation of the Kemetic exploration, which is why a lot of the world's science comes out of Germany, because the Germans were the most prolific explorers of Kemet and translators of Kemet ideology. So a lot of what we have now is stamped with a German name, but the roots go back to Kemet. So yeah, that website is crazy.
25 minutes until you have.
And the thing you can do is use Google. So you can search something on Google and type in TLA lemma, LEMMA. Type in TLA lemma and whatever word you want to look up, and then the Google will do the search for you and find the word. So type in TLA, then the word lemma, which is LEMMA, and then you type in whatever the word is you're looking for. And if the word is on the website, they'll pull up the links for you, and then you can click, because sometimes it'll have more than one link. And then when you go through the link, it'll show you the meaning and how many times that word can be found in articles about Kemet or in the original Kemetic text. Yeah, so that's like the cheat code for everybody studying Kemetic whatever. You know what I'm saying? But that website is primarily like German. So a lot of what you'll see pop up is German stuff.
Yeah, it's German. It's all German. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's Germans doing the actual work. So that, that's almost like the Jewish issue. You know what I'm saying? Because the Israelites and, certain people be like, well, yeah, well, the original Bible people were black. Yeah, but the people that are actually keeping the rituals and the commandments and all that going today are kind of like not black, right? And then if we go to the other side and we go to like the science and the math and the It's like, yeah, the inventors were there, they were black. And it's like, yeah, but the people who are actually still doing the research and the study today are kind of like not black. So, you know, the black card gets overplayed because, you know, once it comes to let's invest in this research, hint, hint, send EnQi a few dollars on their Cash App. You know what I mean? Go to Amazon and get the books. Be like, well, I popped a bottle. I got some Patron last night and some Ciroc, and yeah, we spent $400 in the club, and we like, yeah, but the book is only just get the. Just saying.
Somebody said go to Google and type in Google.
Go to Google and type in Google. Okay, hit the video. Got it.
Well, now I'm not coming in 25 minutes. I'm coming in.
So I got 13 minutes basically right now.
Yes.
Let's see you move it again, Doc. Let's see you move it again. Okay, good. You're good.
13 minutes? He had 10 minutes left, really?
He had 10 minutes left.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll still come in at 25, EnQi. Okay. And you'll know you have an additional 8 minutes. So you're at 20 minutes. Tell me when you're ready to resume your time.
I'm ready.
Okay. Time resumed.
Okay, so what I was saying was that quantum field theory is basically the modern scientific version of what our ancestors laid out. Our ancestors laid out the Kemetic, which is features nun or none, which is the wave, undifferentiated, chaotic infinity, and then from that you have the first emergence. That emergence then becomes the tomb, and we go on from there. Modern science agrees with that. Modern science agrees with that. The Kemetic described the parts and interactions of those parts, not chaos, waves of potential. Not chaos, waves of potential. So I showed who, which is the divine utterance in the Kemetic text, right? We went to the Oxford Dictionary and I showed that utterance, the definition of utterance is a spoken word. I went then to the Kemetic text to show that Heru is identified, Heru, a character, is identified with the word, the utterance, right? In the Kemetic text. And I was saying specifically, laying out some of the sources that you've noticed that we've used TLA. We're going to the Kemetic text. We're showing you things. First primary source. Again, we have utterance. Now we go to the etymology of the word word. And when we go to the etymology of the word word, you can read here. It says the meaning promise was in Old English, as was the theological sense of Holy Scriptures, God's message, and Christian doctrine. So when we go to the Christian doctrine and we see the word word used, especially in the creative sense, it is talking about utterance. So here we have utterance. Here's the etymology telling us this is where Christian theology uses came from. And then we go back to utterance, a spoken word. We go back to the Kemetic text. We have Heru, right? We're moving. Now, standing wave. Again, I want you to understand that when we're talking about the mouth, right, we're talking about the generation of standing waves, which is why Ptah is always referenced with the heart and the tongue, right? I want y'all to get this. So I'm giving y'all the science, but I'm also giving y'all pictures, so hopefully it could jog something in your genetic memory, right? This is what a fundamental standing wave looks like.
Spiritual system of ancient Kemet. In ancient Kemet and Kosh, the Kemetu believed in one creator, the spiritual consciousness and of all things.
So Jabari is going to have to debate Mfudishi. Jabari is going to have to debate Theophilo Benga. It's not just me saying these things, right? We have NASA. We have NASA as a source for standing waves at the edge of Earth's magnetic bubble, right? So it's not just me he's going to have to debate.
right? We have the sun as a resonant cavity in its plasma vibrating with three-dimensional standing waves as studied in helioseismology. We have electrons. Electrons behave as standing waves when confined to an atom, right? We have the depiction. So I'm giving y'all every source possible to verify that your ancestors were not general when they said the next rule represented energy or forms of energy.
There we go.
All right. My man Sai put maximum advertisements.
Caught up in chasing other things, they haven't given you this information. In fact, they don't even recognize the science when it's in front of them. So when you look at the top here, this is a fundamental standing wave. This is a fundamental standing wave. Again, here in the top left corner, a fundamental standing wave, which is what your ancestors were communicating to you. Again, a fundamental standing wave. Key points about waves in the sun. The sun's interior is constantly in motion due to convection, which generates acoustic waves. These waves bounce back and forth, creating three-dimensional standing wave patterns. Right? Now, we get to see the glyph of Re in the text. So you get to see in the text the actual standing wave where your ancestors were trying to communicate the science to you. Again, the actual standing wave, the word,
None for
the
me.
light of the world. All people, all places, and all things are created by standing waves. This is why I'm showing you. 5 minutes?
You're at 25 minutes. You have 8 more minutes.
Okay, 8 more minutes, good. Okay, so this is why I'm showing you the two symbols for Re. On the left, you have a standing wave. On the right, you have a wave cavity, which is a macro version. We could look at the sun as a standing wave cavity, and then we could shrink that all the way down to the micro version, and we could look at an atom. And I already gave you a PhD professor to explain it earlier. I know we had a little music in there, and it was new concepts, but I wanted to give it to you from somebody else besides me. Somebody else besides me. So your ancestors were communicating very specific science to you. It wasn't principles. It wasn't allegorical foolishness. It wasn't the fact that they didn't exist, because when we talk about these forces exist right now. The clothes you have on your back, the laptop you're using, all of the things around us, including you, are made of standing waves. Osiris versus standing waves. The perfect black depicted green. Why? Quantum electronic states exist inside melanin. Even though melanin is amorphous, its electrons still occupy molecular orbitals. In quantum mechanics, molecular orbitals are standing wave solutions to the Schrodinger equation. Chlorophyll molecules do not create standing waves in space. However, inside the molecule, the electrons behave as quantum standing wave patterns. These patterns determine which wavelengths of light chlorophyll can absorb and why chlorophyll is green, how energy is transferred during photosynthesis. This is explained in the 6th hour of the Amduat. In the 6th hour of the Amduat, once again, we have Re uniting with Osiris. Yes, we have Re uniting with Osiris, right? We have Osiris, the green, the chlorophyll, and we have Re, the sun, the light, coming together. And then you have what? The production of plants. You have the production of plants and the sustenance, the creation of food for the people. So we have an early depiction of photosynthesis. So again, these are not random allegorical things that are not real or don't exist. These are actual scientific processes that we have not spent enough time studying what our ancestors left us to see. And again, we go into the text. So just because it's in black and white, don't believe. You see the sources there. Jabari's going to have to debunk the Amduat. Intelligence, Ma'at, the ability to organize. Google it. Self-organization is driven by energy flow. So when our ancestors used terms that denoted intelligence, When they use terms that denoted consciousness, you have to first say to yourself, our modern day definition of consciousness may not be exactly the same as Kemetic people's version of consciousness or intelligence 5,000 years ago. So when they were talking about intelligent energy, when they were talking about conscious energy, what they were talking about was self-organization of energy. The ability to organize denoted intelligence for our ancestors, which is the reason why we have Ma'at, order and sequence. Order and sequence is how you organize. So organization was what they saw as a form of intelligence, hence the reason that Necheru were given the designation of intelligent forces, intelligent, conscious forces, because these forces self-organize. This is not metaphorical. This is not allegorical. This is today. Modern science. Google it. Self-organization is driven by energy flow. And when you look it up, it's going to tell you that self-organization is driven by two primary geometrical formations in energy flow: a vortex, or a resonant cavity for standing fields or for standing waves, and a standing wave. The two hieroglyphs of ray.
Damn, he got mad ass.
Bruh.
And why your ancestors viewed energy as what we call consciousness. Standing waves and vortices are the shapes of consciousness and of ray. Vortices are a primary mechanism for fluid dynamics to resolve pressure and velocity in efficient and stable manner. Standing waves are preferred because they represent a system's most stable resonant state where energy is stored and localized within specific boundaries. Here we have an article: standing waves mediated molecular reorientation and spontaneous formation of tunable concentric defect arrays in liquid crystal cells. A article. I'm giving you a wide variety of sources so you can understand standing waves. Then we're looking at the atmosphere so we can see energy distribution in real time. Right? In real time. Now we go back to the TLA. Arise, Osiris, winter Nefer, son of Nu. Right? I hope y'all see what's happening. Osiris, the beautiful one of gold, great God, great spirit, elder oniferous. Right? I want y'all to see these things existing in real time. I want y'all to see these things existing in real time. Then I want you to pull out your Bible. Yes, I told you we are not going to neglect the Bible. The whirlwind, the vortex is mentioned all throughout the biblical text. If you don't know science, science could be sitting on your nose and you won't see it. We also have standing waves mentioned in the Bible. A seach is a standing wave that happens, a very specific type of standing wave. Seaches are in Job 38:11, Psalms 89:9, Psalms 107:29, Mark 4:39, Matthew 8:26. So again, I'm laying out the modern science, I'm giving you the Kemetic version, and now I'm giving you the biblical version, everything sourced. Scientific journals, PhD professors, Kemetic texts, biblical verses. We left nothing out. Now we're going to go to bacteria. I want you to see the bacteria. I spit and you swallow. I'm here. I want you to see the bacteria.
Don't want to see their body.
Even so, this is the wisdom, the foundation of wisdom. It came from Kemet. They recognize that. So in fact, it was not stolen legacy. No. They stole in antiquity, they recognize.
Time.
It's one of them too. One of them spent five years in Kemet studying.
Time.
They call the father of atomist theory.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just wanted them to see. Theophilo Banger said the father of atomic theory studied 5 years to get that in Kemet.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. EnQi.
Okay,
Thank you,
so
Mr. EnQi. Now,
nothing can exist in a vacuum except light. Light is a traveling wave, so can standing waves exist in a vacuum?
Yeah, standing waves can definitely be created wherever traveling waves are.
Okay.
But you can't have mechanical waves or pressure waves in a vacuum.
Okay. Mechanical waves?
Yeah. So you have electromagnetic waves and mechanical waves.
It's an oscillation of matter.
Yeah.
So matter can't exist in.
Well, it's a vacuum.
So where does it go? Does it dissipate?
It's a vacuum. There's nothing in a vacuum. The reason why vacuum is relevant because you're discussing the creation. So the creation starts
So
before.
let's say, you got sucked into a vacuum. You would no longer exist.
You'll
just become a bunch of standing waves. The
I'm not
molecules
sure.
would separate.
I'm not sure.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I'm not sure what would happen if I got sucked into a vacuum. Pause. I would hope it was an enjoyable process. Whatever that's worth. Yeah, I would think that the sucking part would be so vicious, it would probably rip me to shreds.
Right.
But if we're having a hypothetical, just, thought experiment, I mean, I guess it's possible that I could be, like, the whole me could just go into the vacuum.
Mm-hmm.
And so depending on the nature of the vacuum, I might just be there.
So I looked up the word for intelligence.
Yeah.
And it's wajib, I think, which means the community scholars have no wajib. I just wanted to teach a little meta matter while we go there.
Scholars have no wajib.
Yeah.
This is a fact.
Okay, I'm sorry. Continue.
No, these are proven facts. But the thing is, once you see something, you can't unsee it. Once you see something, you can't unsee it. So once these ideas are presented to people, they can go away from them, but they've been presented. They're there now. So there is another context for us to interpret scriptures and Kemet and have something real that we could stand on instead of like gobbledygook.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So we look at our ancestors like, okay, they built pyramids, but they must have been idiots because they believed that, people turned into falcons and they walked around with the sun on top of their head and other foolishness. Or they, people lived inside Jonah spent 3 days. He spent his weekend inside the mouth of a whale and then came out of it, So we get to start to associate, or disassociate fantasy from mnemonic devices, which is how our ancestors taught through stories. So the griot was a storyteller, but he was also the science teacher. He was also the social teacher. He was the main instructor. So the idea was simplification. And because it's easier to remember a story than it is a bunch of equations, the science that was encoded in the stories kind of gets lost, and the stories just become stories at that point.
Correction, it's
am I a liar?
Way Habib. What does it say? Way Haib. Way Haib is how you say intelligence. Way Haib.
Yeah, see which one is hot sauce. Is there a hot?
There's no hot sauce in the middle.
You'd be surprised. But yeah, so this is the original flyer. I had to start pulling up the flyer because Jabari Jabari came to the debate unprepared to actually debate the topics. So he put together this campaign, him and Sonetta, that the actual debate was a different debate. That we were supposed to be debating whether Jesus was a real person.
Why do they always call you Dr. EnQi the Mason? I've always wanted to ask that.
Because Dr. EnQi is a Mason.
We know you're a Mason, but like, why do they introduce you as that
instead of naturopath?
I think, well, that's the doctor part. But I think that's, I think that's a part of selling I think that's the promo, that's a part of selling because nobody ever calls Jabari Heru Jijen, like nobody, you know what I'm saying? Like nobody ever calls Jabari that, you know what I'm saying? It's just Jabari, you know what I'm saying? But on the flyer, going out for promo purposes, I think it works. Or maybe Sonetta thinks it works. Anyway, he put the flyer together. I'm a cheap date. I don't really care about how the flyer is put together. Or even if I'm even on the flyer, you know what I'm saying? But this is the context.
We're going
this
to need
is the
him to
actual
hire a
debate
date next time because these graphics are not in.
Moving forward. So, is Christ a literal and historical character, and is Christ the Word? Is the actual subject matter of the debate. And he didn't really spend any time on either of those two questions.
This is the topic. Is Christ a literal and historical character? And is Christ the Word?
That was against the rules.
Yeah, I didn't
will
want to interrupt
refrain
Jabari,
going
so I
forward,
waited
though.
until he finished, brother.
I got you. I'll
But
go refrain going forward.
EnQi, we were both in the chat. We'll stay out. I mean,
it's cool.
Both of y'all stay
I-
out,
yeah.
or both of y'all will get penalized. So both of y'all stay out.
Okay.
Sonetta the Gusto.
Penalized.
Sonetta's
Okay,
getting
so,
wild in 2025. He didn't
No, I want to give the people
program for the live
that's
stream.
because look.
Now he's trying to dock people minutes and everything.
I want to give the people a good debate because they paid.
I
And so
appreciate
we got
it.
to
Listen, I'm
treat them
ready.
right. We
I
got
appreciate
right.
that. I do
respect
appreciate that.
Who
Okay.
is
All right,
Jabari
so,
dressed
Nicole, I'll
like?
pass it back to you.
All right, thank you so much. And now we are going in.
He looked like James Earl Jones and Conan. That's what he looked like.
Our second round, family. This is an excellent debate. I want to let Minister EnQi know you have your 5-minute rebuttal. It's up to you.
Nah, her
I
calling
can
you
come
Mr.
in at
EnQi is
4
crazy
minutes and let you
when
know,
there's
or
a
you can
clear
go to your
doctor in
5.
front of
I'll
it.
tell you 5 is.
No, minister.
Oh, I thought she said Mr. EnQi. I was like,
No.
what? That's
Yeah,
insane.
minister.
Done. You start right into your 30 minutes. I'll come in at 25 minutes and let you know you have 5 minutes left. Is that going to work for you, sir?
What I would like to do, is just run it all the way through and just let me know at the end of the, I'm gonna run the whole 35 straight through.
So basically, I will stop you at 30 and let you know you have 5
and
minutes.
let me know I got 5 minutes left. Boom.
Your time starts when you start.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. First things first. Jabari said that this was a mistranslation.
EnQi.
Jabari said the TLA
EnQi.
Stop trolling. Is incorrect, which is crazy.
Is she wearing blue
Right
Is she
after
wearing
that,
blue contact lenses?
I knew it was coming. I could just feel the gremlins coming out of you.
The chat is asking if she's wearing blue contacts.
No comment. The chat is also trolling. Right after Jabari says this translation is a mistranslation.
Who is this on the slide?
Here's Jabari's slide where after he says
floodgates
the
are
TLA is
open.
incorrect, he then pulls up the TLA as a reference for his own material. This is crazy. Now, we also have to go to the flyer real quick, and we have to be honest with ourselves. Jabari is a great orator. Jabari is an amazing speaker. Jabari is well educated, well read. But Jabari did not prepare for this debate. Jabari is using the slides that you've been watching him use for the past 5 years. He ain't prepared no material for this. That's the reason why you look on this flyer, you do not see
Bible. You don't see biblical. You don't see Jesus. Jabari is trying to make this a debate that he could use his old slides on. He didn't prepare no material. He didn't even study me. I told him multiple times leading into this debate, bro, I'm not a Christian like you think. I'm not a Christian like you think. Stop putting me in the Christian bucket. I even told y'all on the live streams multiple times, we're not going to be debating Jesus. That is not on the flyer. Stop letting Jabari mislead y'all. He was lazy and unprepared.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I said that should have just been instant debate over. When you see that, and shame on Sa for not just stopping the debate when you see that somebody else clearly came unprepared, because that's intellectually dishonest to the other person, and it's intellectually dishonest to the rest of the people that are watching. Like, it's just when you see that somebody is not prepared to debate their point, you don't just change the parameters in real time. Like, this is why. This is what makes people lose respect for your platform, when you're not congruent with what you're saying, and you're just trying to pass off bullshit for clicks. Like, it's just, yeah, that should have been instantly debate over.
Pop-Up said this just proves the fix was in. Man.
My bad. Children's school just called me just now and tell me school is canceled tomorrow because of the snow.
Yeah, y'all getting snow.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
cold
we've been
as shit.
getting snow. We've been getting snow for the last month or so, but we're getting snow right now.
Now, let's keep cooking. 1 Timothy chapter 6, 14 to 15. That thou keep this commandment without spot, unrebukable, until the appearing of our Lord Jesus Christ, which is his time he shall shew, who is the blessed and only potentate, the King of kings and Lord of lords. You see, Jabari asked for this. Jabari asked for this, and I don't know why, because Jabari says this is an echo from Kemet. All I'm doing is showing you the original, because remember, Christ is a title. Christ is one who's anointed. I'm showing you where the anointing process came from. And Jabari's trying to pretend like that's not on topic, because Jabari did not prepare for this debate. Jabari, what are you going to do with this?
Pages. Because we knew there would come a time
This is Jabari's teacher.
when we would forget
The $750 degree teacher?
Exact.
No. Well, kind of. There's a little scammy Davisness along with this guy, but no, not that teacher. His $750 degree teacher is his Madame Blavatsky teacher.
This guy look like he teach how to he teach how to sell ice cream. That's definitely an ice cream.
That is a witch coven
hat.
over there. No, it's literally a witch coven. I did some research on them. That is very interesting what Jabari has going on over there. But this is his teacher that just passed away maybe a month or so ago.
Damn, RIP.
Yeah, so he was very upset that I used his teacher all throughout the debate.
Dug the dead body up.
Well, we was smoking on that.
I tell you what.
We were smoking on that Baba Heru pack, you know what I'm saying?
Strays.
No, but no. We it was relevant to the material. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't really necessarily any disrespect to Baba Heru or his memory, but Jabari is out here misrepresenting the teachings. So as we having this conversation, this debate, I'm showing that not only do I have this material in the debate, but what I'm saying, unlike what Jabari is saying, is in alignment with Jabari's actual teacher. Jabari's teacher has been teaching exactly what I'm teaching right now. So
You
to
look
say
like
that
Uncle Charles from the Bone Thugs and Harmony video.
Back to the video.
Road back. When you visit the pyramid of Unas, it said of the king Unas, "This is my beloved son in whom I'm well pleased." And that's in the pyramid text, which is the oldest corpus of spiritual writing in the world. Later, that same term this is my beloved son in whom I'm well pleased, was plagiarized by the compilers of the Bible and put in the mouth of God when Jesus was being baptized by John the Baptist, that this voice came from heaven and said, this is my beloved son in whom I'm well pleased, hear ye him. Well, those words were uttered thousands of years before, so how do they appear in the King James Version? Plagiarism.
Well, that's what we're discussing here, Jabari. The original text. The original text, Jabari, you said contemporaneous sources. I'm talking about the contemporaneous sources of the original text.
He thinks that he's going to prove that there was a literal named Christ that's not Jesus?
So right there, we have Jabari acknowledging that he knew in advance what was going to happen in this debate. In fact, he said at least 5 times already.
Your crush invited you to collaborate on a trip.
I got chill on these damn ass, man. God.
Damn, gotta get paid.
The ads ain't even relevant to the debate. At least making some shit that's like relevant to what's going on.
Before it got translated into the Greek. Why didn't you do the original scholarship, Jabari?
We read the Kemetic text. When I tell you that Asar and Heru are the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, I'm telling you that the Kemetic text says so.
Now, how is Jabari going to debate with Baba Heru and Brother Jabari? Wait a minute. Jabari got a debate with Baba Heru and Brother Jabari? Because Brother Jabari has already identified Heru and Wenenefer. I want y'all to make sure y'all get this. Jabari is identifying Wenenefer as the original. The story of the Kemetic priest with no Kemetic belief. How can you be a Kemetic priest that is an atheist? How can you be an atheist?
Are not literal. That is what I'm saying. They're not literal and actual. An 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 actual.
An actual.
Okay, so I just want to say that, like, if you just repeat it like 2 or 3 times, we still get it that he lying. You don't have to do it 10 times. That's all I want to say.
No, but trust me, I really need to do it 20 times. because the community scholars, there's a thickness. There's a thickness in the eardrum. And it prevents, they have allergies to books. They have thickness in the eardrums. So there's a lot of repetitive, there's a lot of repetition that has to take place when trying to teach on a high school / collegiate level, people on a 2nd and 3rd grade reading level.
4 or 5 would be good. 8 is a bit excessive.
I don't know. I think 13 would probably be in the sweet spot.
No, let's just go
Y'all
for
wanna
even
act
19.
like y'all don't
How
understand.
about that? Even 19.
Even 19. That's what I thought I underdid it. I underwhelmed with, just stopping around, like 8 or 9 or 10 times. I think they still needed more.
Understand what's happening up here. See, we have to establish the original Christ according to not the biblical standard alone, the scholarly standard of Jabari. See, this is how you beat somebody. And when I say beat them, you take the body bag and put the body bag into a body bag. I'm not coming with my standards. I'm using Jabari's standard of proof to show Jabari that he didn't know what he was talking about. Now, again, we're going to Hatshepsut, and we're going right here where we can see what? All this really happened in the Kemetic text. What else do we see here? Again, winning Osiris, which he claims is a mistranslation.
Who is this
Winning,
nigga? Like,
meaning
who is
to
this?
exist
Who is
or to become.
Who is
So
this?
again,
Why?
when he goes to the Kemetic text, or when he's doing his Kemetic lessons, or when he's on Sinetta's class, he's telling y'all that the Neteru are not actual, meaning that they do not exist. That does not come from the Kemetic text. That comes from somewhere else. And it's important because we are establishing that Osiris and Heru are the originals when it comes to the anointing process that later on becomes the Christ in the biblical narrative. We're also going to show you the historicity. But it's important for you to get these sources. Trust me. Have your notebook out. Get your popcorn. Let's get some opinions from the family at home. I don't have to go into the chats, huh?
Is the natural real? Yes, but in figurative dimensions as well as in physicality. In physicality.
Uh-oh.
In physicality. In physicality.
Plutarch, who said Osiris was real, and he was from the South. From all the evidence that they talk about Osiris, that he might have been the one who really existed.
This is important. Y'all gonna see in a second. I just want to make sure that I keep providing y'all with sources, so as Jabari tries to confuse y'all and say that I didn't come with the sources, I want y'all to be able to put Jabari in his place. Not me. I want y'all to be able to do that. An offering which the king gives Osiris Kentimenti in Abydos of a Thinite gnome, Horus, who judges the terror of the two lands, king of Upper and Lower Egypt, Osiris Wenenefer, Horus Wehemesu, Wetwawet, lord of the sacred land. Listen, Osiris Wenenefer means to exist. Now, what is the definition of an atheist? A person who disbelieves the existence of God or gods. So again, this is not an ad hominem. This is not a lie. This is not a sideways conversation. This is not off topic. Jabari is an atheist. He does not believe in the existence of the Neteru. This is very important because an atheist has a very specific perspective. So is Christ a literal and historical character? Now we have to break this down systematically. Christ, the title, also treated as a name given to Jesus. So Christ and Jesus are separate. Christ is a title. Jesus is a person. Christ is the subject of the debate. Do not let Jabari fool you. What else does it say? An oath used to express irritation, dismay, or surprise.
Oh, Christ.
Christ, etymology, the anointed, synonymous with and translating to Greek, Hebrew, Mashiach, a title given.
Hello, shopkeepers.
Should we have counted it and expected it? It was coming. It was almost too sweet for a while.
Christos, the anointed. So again, when I go back to the original blueprint, do not let this man dissuade you. Literal. According to Jabari, the original text on Christ, the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, is in Kemet. I done played that for you at least 5 times already. Literal means taking words in their usual or most basic sense without metaphor or allegory. It also means representing the exact words of the original text. This is why I'm showing you the Kemetic text. It also means without a misprint of a letter. Very important for us to understand the definition of what we're doing here. Literal means in the writings. It does not mean in real life. The word literal refers to the actual writing. I want y'all to understand that. We're talking about writing, not people. According to the actual context of the debate.
Yeah.
See, we're going to go word for word here. Taking words in their natural meaning of or belonging to letters or writing has nothing to do with whether a man walked on water or not. Historical. of or concerning history, concerning past events.
Wait, pause
belonging
it.
to the past, not the present.
The flyer said literal?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Is Christ a literal or historical character?
Ooh. Oh, it's over. It's chat. It's a knockout.
Correct.
It's a knockout.
And what he tried to do is make literal mean, are you saying Jesus literally walked on water and blah blah blah?
Right.
Technically, he did, because literal just means did it happen in the
in
story?
The text, yeah.
Yeah. So everything that happened in the story is happening literal, because that's what literary is. I was asking Sai, like, do you know what a literary work is? They didn't, and it's not even like, if we use context, literal character, like literally character doesn't mean real. Character is a person or personage or entity in a story.
Right.
So we have literary, literal, and character.
Right. So they're all it's written text in the story. Wow.
So I'm dealing with the original text.
That was surgical.
So Jabari tried to remove the whole conversation and make it like, yeah, but we supposed to be talking about Jesus.
That's not
Sir, that is not on the flyer. Nobody paid for that. No matter how much you're trying to trick people into that, because they got an arrangement. Sa and Jabari, they got an arrangement. So they got to try to put the fix in. But as of 2025, it's getting, they've been getting exposed quite a bit for fixing the debates. Me, that's not as important as me getting the information out. So the controversy and all of those things just contributes to people seeing the information. You know what I'm saying? And however they figure it out, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day to me, as long as they see the information. So now you can't go backwards. You see the information. You realize that your ancestors were encoding high-level science into these glyphs, which is what I've been telling people for a long time. Like, why do you think they would go to the trouble to carve it into stone? Like, literally. These are timeless ideas, timeless principles, timeless science that they carved in the stone so we would have it forever. That's why they're letting you know their standard of beauty is the heart and the windpipe. Whereas our standard of beauty in the modern world is like a skinny white lady or a skinny white boy, walking down the runway. Their standard of beauty was a heart and a windpipe.
Mm-hmm.
So the concept is like totally different, because for them, beauty was how the forces of the universe culminated in the human body to create what we know of as life and consciousness. That was the most beautiful thing that could be imagined. Whereas for us, it's a weird outfit with, somebody who looks like they could use a sandwich walking down the one.
If you have better heart health and lung health, you tend to look better too.
Yeah, but people who look healthy, models don't look healthy.
They don't.
Yeah, so that wouldn't.
But you have like I'm speaking about like specifically the individual. You take an individual and how they look now.
Absolutely.
And then you make them healthier. They tend to look better.
Yes, their skin looks brighter. Like, you can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, their skin starts to look better.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a sign of all the stuff that's going on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a Bacardi Bahama Mama there tonight?
You go trolling. You always talking about.
No. I thought that was my bad.
You always see. Here you go. Just start the video.
Especially of a novel or a movie set in the past. So
yeah, that's a good idea, Markel.
Doesn't even have to be quote unquote a real person that walked around.
I tried to set some up.
I want y'all to understand the word games Jabari's playing. I came here to debate the debate topic. Jabari want to do something different. Historical, of or pertaining to history. See, we're doing definitions and etymology. Something Jabari can't do because he's scared to actually show his hand. Character. Oh! Character. Oh my goodness. Jabari said we're debating, is Jesus a real person? That is not on the flyer, people. Y'all did not buy tickets to see is Jesus a real person. Character. Character is the mental or moral qualities distinctive to an individual. A person in a novel, play, or movie. Character. Character? Mister, I got 1,000 degrees from 1,000 colleges. You ain't know the definition of character? Bugs Bunny is a real character.
He couldn't wait to pull that out.
You had the nerve to pull up Obama in a comic book. I said, Jabari don't even know. Jabari don't know the origin of the word character.
Damn.
Look at the bottom where it says archaic. It says to inscribe or engrave. Wait a minute. Do we have inscribed or engraved words? Yes. The hieroglyphs, the very ones that I've been showing you all night. The ones I started showing you in the first round that he trying to misdirect you from.
He just beating up a dead body now.
Because what Jabari doesn't know is that character is a biblical word. The word character comes from the Bible. So anything referencing the character, we got to go back to the original, which is the Greek. Character refers to an express image or exact imprint and is a crucial term used in Hebrews chapter 1 verse 3 to describe Jesus as the perfect representation of God. Jabari, you in trouble, bro. If you keep pulling out them old retired slides, the people might get cranky. I'm just saying. Is Christ a literal or historical image? Biblical narrative here, Jabari, just in case you say, oh, but he didn't go to the Bible. Hebrews chapter 1 verse 3. Who being the brightness of his glory, another reference of light, and the express image of his person. The word there used in the actual text of the New Testament is character. Jabari, it's a long night for you. Character, etymology, symbol marked or branded on the body, symbol or drawing used in sorcery, an alphabetic letter, just like the glyphs I've been showing you, buddy. I've been showing characters. You have been playing a Jesus story. I stick to the topic of the debate. The debate is about characters.
EnQi set him up
like
bad.
The hieroglyphs, the engravings, the engraved images.
You set him up.
I set him up.
Somebody in the comments said this debate was like Bloodsport when Bolo Young threw that dust in Jean-Claude Van Damme's eyes and made him fight. That's what one of the comments on the debate said. And that's exactly what you did. This nigga is fighting blind right now. You done set Jabari up for failure with that title of the debate. That's why they wanted to change the title of the debate.
But here's the problem with that. Well, here's the problem with that theory. Jabari came up with the title of the debate. Sarnetta made the flyer. So this is what I keep trying to explain to even that audience over there. I'm like, yo, y'all keep saying that I tricked Jabari or somehow I outsmarted him, but I didn't come up with the title of the debate, nor did I make the flyer.
So you just prepared for the debate based upon the title.
If Jabari made the title and Sarnetta made the flyer, listen, this is why I keep saying in reality, what I think happened is Jabari thought it was going to be an easy W, and so he didn't prepare for the debate.
That's exactly what it is. And see, that's the trap of thinking that you're smarter than everybody else.
Right.
Yeah. Is that you don't pay attention to, it's the small stuff that you don't pay attention to, which that's not even small. That's like the crux of the whole debate, and you just didn't prepare for it.
And as a teacher, you know this, Tanei. A lot of people is not going to know this, but you know when you teach the same subject over time, you have a bunch of material. So what Jabari did was just grab a bunch of his old slides and run down. And the problem with his old slides is
they old slides.
Well, not only that, they don't pertain specifically to Christ.
Yeah, they're not on topic.
His slides are on a Jesus story. And a lot of people is like, yeah, but isn't Jesus Christ? Kinda. Jesus is anointed, and so the New Testament is about Jesus as Christ. But there's multiple Christs in the Bible, especially throughout the Old Testament. David, Saul, Aaron, his sons, blah, blah, blah. And it goes back before the Bible into Kemet, because Christ is an anointing process that gives a person a title and blah, 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 blah. So the focus is not really on Jesus, the person, is more on Christ, the title. Because the argument that we was having was, can you find value in the Bible and value in Kemet at the same time? Jabari was saying no. If you believe in the Bible, you can't get nothing from Kemet. If you believe in Kemet, you can't get nothing out the Bible. Jesus is local to the Bible. Jesus is a New Testament story. So for me, it didn't make sense to debate Jesus as a topic. It was, let's debate this Christ topic, because Christ is New Testament, Old Testament, and Kemet. So we can basically deal with this concept of value coming from, you know what I'm saying, can you find value in both? You know what I'm saying? Because I think the vast majority of people is not really into Kemet or the Bible, or, you know, like most of the people on the internet, they just looking at historical narratives to see what they can grab that's useful in their life today. You know what I'm saying? So
is there a no, go ahead.
Yeah, but like I said, I didn't make up the title or the flyer. So, you know, they like, yo, EnQi, you tricked him. I'm telling you, I just think that's a part of that programming of ours where, you know, it's EnQi with the music and the gold teeth, and it's Jabari, the college professor. And it's like, if anybody's supposed to come to this unprepared, it has to be that guy from the Bronx, unless he somehow tricked the good old college professor who is clearly supposed to be, you know. But
what college is he at?
That's a good question. He teach somewhere though.
College of Mufkaza. Is there a back and forth?
Not really.
What?
No, we got the Q&A at the end. Yeah, there's a Q&A.
So y'all never get to argue?
Well, we arguing in the debate. But yeah, we don't get to argue. We argue like for
I don't like that format.
Leading up to the debate.
I don't like that format.
Yeah, it's not like political. It's not like a political joint. Yeah, it's not like a political joint.
That's whack.
Yeah, political debate might be more exciting.
Mufkaza State University, yeah.
Okay, back to the video.
It's all right, Jabari. You're going to get this. Image, piece of statuary, artificial representation that looks like a person or thing. Image, did you see that, Jabari? Artificial representation. Jabari, did you see that? Okay. I know.
Oh, you teach a Hunter.
A representation of the external form of a person or thing in art. In art. Not a person walking around or on water. The general impression that a person, organization, or product represents to the public. Make a representation of the external form of. See, Jabari, you can fool some of the people some of the time. Is Jesus a literal historical character by definition? Too easy.
Why did that music sound like it was on time?
Because YouTube know what the fuck they doing.
Christ is a literal and historical figures by definition. No matter what is said after this moment, you have to remember that Jabari lost this debate by definition and on the specific topic. The Kemetic priest with no Kemetic belief has brung us here to bury the truth. to be very transparent, I'm saying that Christ, the anointed one, literally and historically existed in the Bible and Kemet. And here we go with the TLA. What you're going to see is the letters QRS.T. This is the original word that refers to the burial process, which includes the anointing.
What is Sai doing?
Which includes the anointing. Now, if this is your first time seeing this word,
Sai over there blocking my slides so people can't see what I'm saying. What is he doing?
This word is from the original text in Kemet. I'm sure Jabari's familiar with this word because he's a Kemetic priest. And this is the TLA. We also have Kemetic scholars and Kemetic Metal Nature specialists in the chat, which can verify this. Is Jabari Osaze an initiate of the Great White Brotherhood? I'm just saying. He doesn't believe the Necharu are real. Burial, death, purification, baptism, organ removal, 40-day natron dehydration, wrapping, and anointing with oils, opening of the mouth ceremony, funeral procession, burial in a tomb, offerings placed, recitation of spells, weighing of the heart, judgment by Osiris, resurrection, eternal life in the field of reeds. These all culminate in the overall heart ritual. This is an early church father, Jabari. You know exactly who this guy is. You know who Ambrose is, Jabari. Ambrose describes Jesus Christ as the good Scarabaeus. Do y'all know who the good scarab is? Kepra, one who I featured very prominently in my first debate a couple weeks back with Unc. Yes, the early church fathers called Christ the scarab. Oh, are these the what's how you say that word? Is this what you were saying, Jabari? You know the early church fathers, the ones that say Christ was Kepra? I'm just saying. I'm just asking you now, Jabari.
Oh, that's ugly.
Because remember, we're dealing with the King of Kings and Lord of Lords.
But Carl Jung, yes, that Carl Jung, the Carl Jung that is the psychiatrist and scholar on the human mind. Listen to what he says about this. The Osiris cult offers an excellent example of this. At first, only Pharaoh participated in the transformation of the god, since he alone had an Osiris, but later the nobles of the empire acquired an Osiris too. And finally, this development culminated in the Christian idea that everyone has an immortal soul and shares directly in the Godhead.
So I have Jabari breaking down that Osiris is the original blueprint. Now let's take a look. Let's take a look at the spirit, right? Let's take a look at the spirit descending down on the first Christ, right? Christ, but originally, right? We don't have the vowels or the vowel proper placings in the Medu Neter, right? So we have to just go with the consonants, QRST, do what you want with that, right? So we have the spirit descending down on the first ever mummy, who is Wenenefer, the one who exists, right? We have the definition here for you. I know our purists, we need this. We need a variety of sources, right? Source of sources, right? A source of sources, right? Do you see it, Jabari? Jabari, do you see it? Do you see it, Jabari? Do you see this? Do you see it? Come on, Jabari.
This is my position now that you could disagree with. My position is that the story of Jesus is an echo of traditions, as St. Augustine has told you, that have actually gone back thousands of years before Christianity.
Well, that could be a fair interpretation.
Do you see it, Jabari? Or are you going to keep lying to these people? I'm proving to you a literal and historical Christ. Maybe not the one you wanted, because you came with them old rusty slides. Maybe not the one you wanted.
And they are examining all your organs in your body.
Now, hold up. Infudisi and Sanetta are going to break it down.
And they are examining all your organs in your body.
Now, when you break this down right here, what does this story remind you of? Like, for someone who plagiarized it and copied our story, when you look at it.
Well, it sounds like the Christian doctrine.
That's right.
The Christian doctrine comes directly out of this.
Again, King of Kings and Lord of Lords.
Pages. Because we knew there would come a time when we would forget our way and we would need an exact road back. When you visit the pyramid of Unas, it said of the king Unas, "This is my beloved son in whom I'm well pleased." And that's in the pyramid text.
Uncompromising curiosity deserves.
They getting off. Oh, the double. They came with the double joint.
They're tired of you skipping.
God, when Jesus
You need the
was
Brave
baptized
browser.
by John the Baptist.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Do y'all see? Wait a minute. Okay, so let me put it together for y'all. Y'all might be a little slow in the back. When a Nefer means to exist. When a Nefer is the original mummy, the original Christ, the original buried one, the original Lord of burial. The original Lord, the King, the Lord of the West, Lord of the underworld. Do y'all see it? Do y'all see it? Do y'all see it?
He thinks that he's going to prove that there was a literal named Jesus. I mean, named Christ that's not Jesus.
We read the Kemetic text. When I tell you that Asar and Heru are the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, I'm telling you that the Kemetic text says so.
Damn. He making him cook himself.
When Nefer is Osiris, if y'all don't know that. Who want to say that that means beautiful existence or the perfect existence? I would not argue against you, but that's a divine name. And so that's another reason why I say Osiris might be the one who is venerated.
Osiris might be the one venerated through the burial, through the anointing.
What'd you say
through the
tonight?
burial, the tomb, and then the rise.
I said, buddy, he sound like if Gucci Mane was an Egyptologist.
He ain't do.
That's funny because that's kind of his story. He used to be a rap. He's like a failed rapper turned Kemetic translationist.
That's what we talking
He
about.
thinks that
We read the Kemetic
and I believe literally, I feel an energy that is Heru. Not a physical person, but an energy.
Uh-oh.
Now,
So he can see
this
dead
is a
people
slide
now?
that I got from Jabari. I thought it was very useful. It shows how the Kemetic spiritual tradition became the later spiritual traditions.
Oof.
This is Jabari slide.
Yo, you know how,
this is
like-
what I mean about disingenuous.
You know how like sometimes you like mess with your kids or like your lady and you like grab their hands and you like stop hitting yourself, stop hitting yourself, stop hitting yourself. That's literally what EnQi doing right now.
Yeah. Well, yes, that was the intention.
Stop the fight.
Why would Jabari
Don't
try
let
to
him tell.
say that there was no other character called Christ? There was no Christ before Jesus when he himself has the slides to prove it. Why would he do that?
What is stealing?
Why would Jabari say there's no other Christ when we see Jabari banging on the Kemetic text saying, when I say that Horus and Osiris are the original King of Kings and Lord of Lords, the Kemetic text says so. We got his teacher, Baba Heru. Baba Heru said the rituals later on come from the Kemetic text. I showed y'all the rituals. I showed y'all the rituals. And as I was showing y'all the rituals, I'm giving y'all the Bible verses that goes along with it. So you can see where they put the hyssop branch to Jesus's mouth before his breath. The same as the opening of the mouth ceremony where you put the tool to his mouth to restore the breath. I'm showing it to you, the actual ritual. So now we know the history on where this anointing came from. Oh, Jabari. Oh, Jabari. Why does the Kemetic text use the word being? Jabari, why does it use the word being right there? That's crazy. Jabari, what is the definition for being, Jabari? What is the definition for being, Jabari? Is that existence? So do we have a literal and historical existing and actual Christ? Oh, we have a couple of them. We have a couple of them. We have a couple of them because Christ is a title which pass from the anointed to the anointed. It's about the actual ritual, not the person. Christ is about the ritual, not the person. Christ is a title bestowed on a person who goes through the ritual. Now, as a Kemetic priest, you're supposed to be trained to recognize Kemetic ritual. How is the Kemetic priest with no Kemetic belief able to deal with this? Well, he's going to have to debunk Kemet in public to win this debate. He has to disprove the Kemetic origin of the burial rituals. The burial rituals that give the title Christ. Hopefully y'all in the chat, y'all all the way in the back, now y'all can see how it comes together. The burial rituals, which comes from Kemet, is where the anointing with the oils and the whole, that's where the origin of that is. So to say that that did not exist, the Kemetic priest has to debunk Kemet. So now we go back to 1906. In 1906, just in case y'all need a different type of reference, I'm giving y'all German work. I'm giving y'all French work. I'm giving y'all an article from 1906. Alpha Journey Discovery. French journal Recul de Travaux Relatifs à la Philologie et à Archaeologie Egyptiens et Assyrians translates to collection of works relating to Egyptian and Assyrian philology and archaeology. The original title is in German and the journal title is in French. Wilhelm Spielberg, his argument for anointing as a ceremony for the installation of officials was published in the German Egyptological Journal. So this is, they're breaking this down over 100 and some years ago, that the anointing process comes from Kemet. So now you have a scholarly reference, just in case. I gave you the Kemetic references, the biblical references, and now we're giving you a scholarly journal reference. I also gave you the church fathers who said Jesus was the good scarab. I just want to make sure we didn't miss any of the reference points.
That's nasty.
Now we go to the biblical text where it says that Aaron and his sons were the first to get anointed in the Bible.
5 minutes.
Later on, the ritual became central to the installation of Israelite kings. Very important to track the anointing process in the Bible. Now, here's the problem with that. When we go, okay, here's the anointing process in the Old Testament and it's moving through, let's go ahead and match the burial rituals to the actual buried bodies, the sarcophagi, the mummies. And guess what we find in the Gaza Strip? Guess what we find in Canaan? Guess what we find out there in Israel? We find the Kemetic. We find the Kemetic clay coffins. I hope y'all know what y'all looking at. I asked y'all earlier on, did y'all want to see a dead body? I hope y'all know what y'all looking at. These are where the burial rituals translated from Kemet to Israel. I'm showing y'all step by step. These from the first dynasty. The burial process is Christ Crestu. In the actual Kemetic text, English versions by Egyptologists, like Jabari's teachers in college, have edited that out of translations. Now I'm giving y'all these words so y'all can go re-look them up. I want y'all to go re-look these up, because nobody wants to discuss these. Jabari wants to use the TLA as a source when it works for him, and then also take it out. Do y'all see that at the bottom here? Down at the middle. Oh, I can't show y'all. My mouse is not mousing. You see down there, mummy of a god, right? With the root, right? Okay. I just need y'all to see this. The story of Osiris is the story of the first mummy, the first Christ. In the text, what does it identify the dead body as? Kores, the dead body. What does it state? That on that day, which we established the festival of the meeting of the dead body, it is of Osiris. We have in the text, Osiris as the first Christ. In the text, that day of uniting the two lands, that is the joining together of the two lands at the burial of Osiris. Listen.
People. I'm a Kemetic priest.
The heart center, the heart arit, or gateway, known as a chakra.
Okay. All right. We good. We good. So how many minutes I got left?
3, 2.
Okay, 3 minutes. So we can do a nice little recap. So
we'll skip the recap.
You can stop it. It's a body. It's a massacre. It's over. It's over. There's the whole point why I was interested in knowing, what happened in this debate. You can stop. Well, you can leave her on the screen. The whole point, I just wanted to see what happened, right? And see what the debate was about and see your work. And yeah, that's a 30. In battle rap, they call that a 30. That's a 3-0, and it's over. That's over.
Yeah. So what was the logic that Jabari won again? Because I'm just not.
Oh, the logic that Jabari won was that I was not debating whether Jesus was a real person or not.
But the debate don't say nothing about Jesus.
Hence the magic trick.
It literally says nothing about Jesus on the flyer.
Like, you know the old saying, the greatest trick Jabari pulled was making you believe that Christ don't exist. So yeah, he pulled the.
Oh.
So what they did was they said there was a phone call where really we were supposed to be debating Jesus and not what we put on the actual flyer to sell to people to get them to pay their money for.
So why would you put why? So oh my God.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. And the funny thing is, that's exactly what I was saying until I seen the scariest thing that I had ever seen regarding this sort of thing. Literally, I watched them have a conversation with someone else that Jabari had a debate with, and literally they said everything as if they were reading it off a script. They were like, yo, we had a 3-way conversation, and on the phone call, you said this. So because you said this on the phone call, and I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, take that guy out, insert EnQi, none of the conversation changes. So clearly this is a polished, this is a polished hustle. So, yeah. But as far as anybody with wrinkles in their brain,
shout out Markel. Thank you for the 10.
It is, officially crazy.
Doe said setting the parameters for your own debate and losing is some remarkable idiocy. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were both trying to really convince people to the point where people believe I tricked them. Like the people are like, yeah, EnQi, you tricked everyone. I'm like, I have to say this again. Jabari came up with the title, and Sonetta made the flyer. So,
Oh.
but I get it. It's like the WWF. In the WWF, we're used to watching it, and we know before the fight starts who's supposed to win and who's supposed to lose. So it's like watching WWF back in the days. And like, do you remember Junkyard Dog?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So imagine if Junkyard Dog was to like power slam Hulk Hogan and win the
Yeah,
belt.
that's not happening. That's not happening.
But that's
Street Fighter's not gonna let that happen.
but that's what actually happened. It just went crazy and off script, and Hulk Hogan got body slammed and pinned, and the audience is like, "Yo, what the? I didn't pay for this. What are y'all doing right now? Like, yo, Junkyard Dog, you just scammed us. What are you doing? Like, what are you
I
doing winning the
definitely saw
match?"
some comments where people were like, "Are we not paying for this no more? Like, this is this is not what we
Crazy.
paid for. You know,
Facts.
the EnQi won this debate. You know, these y'all people didn't stay on topic. Blah blah blah." And like that's as a platform, when you lose credibility like that, it's hard to get people. It's hard to get people that's gonna pay for the content to begin with, but people not coming up off their money unless they can trust the platform. And so like that's just kind of the beginning of the end for that platform, where you just you sacrifice your long-term credibility to, keep your prize fighter, undefeated. And it's just like that's just not worth it long term, because people can see through that. Like this is you're getting to a point where people are tired of the fake narratives. They need something real to really hold on to, and like people just not gonna deal with stuff like that.
Yeah, like the fake
People trying to
elections.
learn, and that's the other part is people trying to learn when they come see these joints, and you can't really learn if the information is just recycled, same old thing, same old thing, same old thing. That's another thing. I'm like, yo, nobody else even brings brand new information to these conversations.
Yeah, like I've never heard anybody talk about standing waves and
I had to interrogate
prevalent.
everyone over there with that. I was like, so why are we having this crazy convo argument? Have you heard of standing waves
Yeah.
like before the debate? Have you ever heard of that before? Uh mm, the word standing is ringing a bell. I was like, okay, that's kind of my
I mean, you still have to. I mean, at the end of the day, you still have to remember that the average person is not scientifically literate. So even if you're quote unquote well read, you probably understand the words enough to understand the sentence that it forms, but you don't really comprehend what the sentence is actually telling you. And
right.
that's what the Kemetic scholars been doing for so long. They spend so much time with trying to decipher the words, put the words together in a coherent sentence, but then you got to go back and read the sentence and follow what the sentence is telling you. Like you have to put it in the
Facts.
context of the whole body of work, and they don't do that. I mean, good, bad, right, or wrong. You just have to understand, like, okay, you got somebody to put the text back together for you. But now you gotta have the people that understand what the text is and what the text is trying to tell you to
Facts.
actually engineer what it's saying. And a
Facts.
lot of times the same people are not doing that.
Correct. Because they're just stopping right there, like, yeah, that mean bread.
Meanwhile, it's a whole recipe for like how you make the bread.
Or to take it to bring it into real space, or it is the first ever actual antifungal, antibacterial treatments. So whereas we got these folks saying that people in Kemet, ate bread and drank beer all day, you know what I'm saying? So you got a bunch of people like basically your ancestors were fat alcoholics, come to find out these beers were radically different than today's Budweiser or Heineken. These beers were probiotic, probiotics loaded with antibacterial and antiviral and all kinds of other crazy, crazy ingredients that we go to the CVS to get. They were already pioneering and making solutions with these things 3, 4, 5,000 years ago. So, somebody's got to get in there and do the real work for the ancestors. So I do it mostly for them. And then I present it to the people and say, yep, say what you want. You see this. This is, yep, yep, yep. My heart stopped. I made a deal with God to do this. So, yeah. Shoot me with the arrows if you'd like. It's fine. I have to
So,
answer to a higher source.
so let's talk about you and your retirement. What is when you say that? What does that mean? What led you to this decision? Walk me through that, please.
I don't know. I just feel a satisfaction with what I've been able to present in the last 2 debates that I don't know what I would get out of a third debate right now. So I don't feel like.
Weren't you supposed to debate Saab? Was that Sunday or Monday? Sunday.
Well, Saad was supposed to set up a debate, but he didn't. Saad be saying that just to sound like, but we've set up that debate quite a few times, and we haven't actually.
It said join the debate now if you ready, EnQi. That's what the live stream title said.
Yeah, but it didn't. Yeah, I joined.
And what happened?
We didn't debate. The debate me and Sai are supposed to have is, did man make God or did God make man?
So wait, you joined the StreamYard?
Yeah. And so Sai is basically saying that man made God.
Fuck his argument. I want the drama, nigga. This is... So you joined the StreamYard and then what happened?
Nothing. We argued about all kinds of everything else, but we didn't argue about the debate. We didn't do the debate. Yeah.
Oh, so you eventually did join that stream?
Yeah. Wait, which stream exactly?
Sunday.
Yeah, I think so.
Brother Suntan Lotion was there, and
Suntan's always there. That's why they blend in after a while, and we always argue. So it just, I don't know which, they blend in. Like, yeah, we definitely, I think.
Sunday.
Oh,
yeah.
Sunday it was on there, and he was like, what was it, Black News 102?
But no, that wasn't that. He came onto my channel and said that we was going to do a debate.
No, not that.
No, Sunday he was saying he was going to play the debate if enough people donated or not. And then I don't think anybody donated. Well, people definitely donated. I watched people donating.
But he wanted like 400 or something like that.
Yeah.
And he wasn't able to get that. So he was like, fuck that.
I'm not quite that sure. I'm not sure.
So this debate streamed, and the stream ended an hour ago. So this dropped today.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I was wondering why you had the same shirt on.
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I got the same shirt on just because we were doing the debate. But this debate actually happened a little while ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't find it. Let me see. Maybe it's on Sanity TV. I know he got 2 channels, right?
What, the joint from Sunday?
Yeah.
He might have took them down.
What? Yeah, he took it down. It's not there.
Yeah, took them down.
So Markel said, I guess the real question was, what was Suntan's final verdict?
What was Suntan's?
Yeah, what was his? Did he say you won or lost?
I'm not sure if Suntan is an authority to... Yeah, so that's a wild question. What was Suntan's final verdict?
Paul says Suntan is an old brother that just ain't got
Actually, you know what? Suntan
nothing better
said,
to do.
no. I'll tell you what Suntan said.
Don't be
Suntan
providing no
said,
info. He's like Saw's placeholder.
no, listen. Suntan said, EnQi, your information was too high caliber for us. We didn't understand what you were saying. So because you went over everybody's head, I'm going with Jabari.
Wait, what?
That's what he said.
How many times have I said this?
He literally said that though. He was like, "Yeah, that was too much for us to even try to understand. And even if we wrong, we still want to stick with the things that we know." I was like, "This is
And
wild to
I
say
was
on
thinking that
video."
during the debate.
I was like, "Wait, but wait." I'm saying to myself, "This is wild for someone to say out loud like that."
At least they honest at this point, because it's so obvious that it's like these people get upset with EnQi, not because EnQi is correct, but
because they can't
because it
understand him.
destroys their whole entire worldview.
Yeah.
And when you destroy somebody's worldview like that, they gonna fight, scratch, claw, do whatever they can to preserve that image in their head, even if what is being presented to them is factually correct. Because I mean, say somebody come in your house, like your house built on like a Indian burial ground, right? And you got all kind of weird shit happening in your house. And somebody come in your house and tell you like, hey, you need to like get out of here. And then to make you get out because you don't want to get out, they burn the motherfucker down. That person's gonna be upset, but in the interest of safety for them, it's probably wise that they don't be in the house no more. But now they ain't got a house. So what are you gonna do to fix the house? So like that's the dilemma that you run into, is that like you're tearing these people's whole foundation up. It's correct, but they have nowhere else to go after that. And that's hard for a lot of
They
people.
do. They can come to my page and then I'll show them where to go on Amazon and get the books.
Yeah, but it's hard for people to admit that they're wrong. So it's hard for people to reverse years and years and years of training and course correct and go in a different direction.
They got to stop believing in
that's not the one.
Superstitious foolishness and get to the science.
That's not the one. That's not the one. That's not the one I was looking at.
But
the one I was looking at, EnQi wasn't there.
Went over my head, so I'm going with the other guy.
Yo, he literally said that. That was wild. That was wild.
It was. Wait a second. One
in
the
the
chat
was like dumb it down.
One in the chat, if you were able to follow EnQi's presentation.
Now watch, there's gonna be a bunch of ones in chat because chat over here is not retarded.
Yeah, I was able to follow, right? I thought he had pictures and everything. Like it couldn't be that hard to follow if he's got pictures and words and right?
I mean, anybody that, to me, honestly, I mean, the debate was very easy to follow. Like that's why I don't understand like when people like
hold on. PhD chemist.
Even like EnQi, PhD aside, I know how to read. that's really all it is at the end of the day.
Now hold on. Third grade reading levels. Third grade reading levels, sir.
No. Now we're coming back to a bigger issue because it's one thing to say I didn't understand your presentation. It's another thing to say, because your information is too over my head, you lost. That's retarded.
And to follow it up with, even if I'm wrong, even if we wrong, we want to stick with what we know.
That is
diabolical.
No, but you know what though? I'm glad that you saw that because this is low key what we've been saying for like the past month. So I'm glad that you saw the light. I mean, people got to come stuff on their own terms. I'm just glad that you see that we weren't I guess sometimes you think that stop that. Let me finish what I got to say, and I'm done with it. I guess sometimes you think that we come down on you because we don't like HOK or we don't like you going over there. It's like, no, we know the kind of information that you have to offer, and we know what kind of work you put into it, and is disingenuous to the kind of person that you are and the kind of information that you bring and the scholarship that you bring, to go over here and argue with people that don't know what you're saying, and then will tell you that you're wrong because you don't know what you're saying. Like, that's a very frustrating position to be in.
Or how to read.
Or exactly. So it's like, we never said any of this stuff because we're being mean spirited. It's because, like, you're literally just better than that.
Or how to count. They don't really know how to count or read.
I want to speak my mind, but I'll refrain.
I'm not going to open that door. I'm leaving that door closed. Don't you think you're getting a follow-up comment from me? Like, no, go ahead and say it. No, sir.
I'll let Tanei. He said it well. He said it well. There's nothing further for me to add. Academies?
Yo, Academies was insane, bro. Academies was so insane.
When you can't read your own slides.
That was so insane, bro.
Listen, by the time we get to the third round in this debate, Jabari quit showing slides and start teaching the Shabaka stone, which is what I was teaching in my first round with the standing waves. So that was the equivalent of like being punch drunk at the bell, walking to the wrong corner. I'm like, wait, does he realize that that's my... Okay, this isn't... Even he has a segment where he's like, yeah, and everything EnQi said was right. But I'm telling you right now, we're supposed to be talking about Jesus. I'm like, wow.
No, that's not what the flyer says, bro. Like, what do we know?
Wow, right there. That is wild. Yeah, so it was interesting. Then he got mad because I showed that he was on a chakra tour. He said that wasn't something he was teaching his people. And then I showed his partner saying that we had to be like women and all kinds of wild foolishness he got from Madame Blavatsky. So it was interesting.
I think I got some Blavatsky upstairs.
I don't even know what to follow that up with, sir.
I think I had started reading. What book do she got that I got? I got
ISIS Unveiled or The Secret.
Is it ISIS Unveiled?
But do you know what the ISIS Unveiled is?
No.
Madame Blavatsky teaches that Isis, Osiris, and Horus are hermaphrodite, or like, what the precursor to like transgender. And that's Jabari's thing he's into.
Brown chakras.
Well, he was a big supporter of Kamala.
I'm mad this nigga was teaching yoga.
Was he really?
Kemetic yoga. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he's a Democrat.
This is within arm's reach for me. So,
What's
it's
that?
blurry. It ain't gonna show.
Nile
I
Valley.
don't know if it's gonna show.
That's Nile Valley.
Yeah, this is arm's reach for me.
That's Nile Valley. Anthony T. Browder.
Yeah.
Yeah. My kids studied that book earlier this year. We did presentations on that.
Some good stuff in there.
Some amazing stuff in there. I started trolling the internet with some of that information.
Oh no, don't do it, because then you gonna get the mad white Egyptologists coming in talking about sub-Saharan Africans.
That's exactly what happened. That's
like
exactly
clockwork.
what happened.
You can set your watch to that.
Oh, that train is never late.
Then you have to have the whole black argument, and you wind up with, yeah, but the mummies, they found the mummies, and yeah, there's that. So me, I just prefer to trace the science, trace the information, because it's everywhere. We just don't know what it actually is. But we got it. We got it. So we got the Books of the Food, the Songs of the Vitamins book in Barnes and Nobles. And then we have the Plant Genetics book, aka the source material for the Kemetic wave function in Amazon right now. And then after that, we have the Godometer coming out pretty soon. The Godometer.
New books coming soon, chat. New books coming soon.
Yeah. The Kemetic source for the wave function is out already, but the Godometer is coming soon.
Paul, post a link in the chat, please. I know Paul knows the books you talking about. All right. That's all I got. That's all I got. The Cone Twins shared some content of the day. Oh man, the Cone Twins out here bugging. We was talking about them earlier. Did you watch the Diddy doc?
I did not watch the Diddy doc.
Don't watch it.
Don't watch the Diddy. That's almost like literally go turn on the Diddy doc. That's like
that shit give you nightmares.
Really?
Yeah, that shit is. I feel like a victim after watching that shit.
Really?
Yeah.
The commercials I seen was like nothing. It was like Diddy talking like
that shit was dark.
It was dark?
That shit was dark.
Can we get a couple highlights real quick?
He killed Biggie and Tupac.
No, come on. And that's in the documentary?
Yup.
Proof?
Yup.
What kind of proof?
Good proof.
Like what? Break it down. Come on.
You gotta watch the doc.
Nah. See how this is? You see how this is earlier when I was like, yo, we gotta watch over. I'm getting frustrated now, EnQi, because you
You gotta watch the doc. They got Crips with confessions.
Oh yeah, homeboy that's in jail.
Yeah. Yeah. They got Diddy's partner, who he was diddling in the butt.
You cannot be messing with rich people's wives and all that, man. That's what this is all about.
He was doing that too.
He had 50 lady, and then had the nerve to have 50 lady take the stand in the case.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And so 50 is just, he doesn't let up. So now 50 done put a few dollars together and put together the whole documentary, Surviving P. Diddy. But there's a lot of docs. What makes this one worse than the other ones? Now, you said that he killed Pac and Biggie, and it was dark. But I think we kind of knew all that already.
But the whole doc is just dark.
Is Cassie naked in it, or?
No. Unfortunately. You get a little bit of butt crack, action, but that's nothing we ain't never seen before. Yeah.
Cassie's butt crack or Diddy's butt crack? Like what kind of?
Cassie's.
Oh.
Chat, this has been another amazing episode of KeMedicine. We'll be back next Tuesday. Watch Diddy doc at your own leisure. We finna be out of here.
Or at your own risk. Clearly, because who knows whose crack is showing in these flicks.
We going on the EnQi prayer. We going out on KeMedicine joy.
We going out on the film.
We're going out on All About the Benjamins, baby.
I'll see y'all next week, yo.